Welcome once again to Antenna by Panda. This time, let's check the four elements intended to be used for 167.9 megahertz commercial frequency as requested by Mr. Oscar Rodriguez. So let's check the antenna configuration. As usual, we have the gamma match. The tuning stub is positioned on top of the gamma match. So I'm just going to put a marking tapes to indicate where to place the gamma match. We have a PL259 feed line and the connector is an SO239. On the coax, it's a PL259 to match the SO239. As usual, we have the same mechanism to hold the elements. It's screwed and riveted on the boom. This is the gamma match section. We have a four elements Yagi. So we have to check the frequency response. So this is now connected to my antenna analyzer, and this is the frequency response. Let me just uh, move the antenna analyzer. So our scanning frequency is from 163 to 173 megahertz with a 10 megahertz bandwidth. Our intended frequency of use is, let me just move that to 167.9. So 167.9 megahertz. The SWR on that point is 1.3 VSWR with a 10 megahertz bandwidth. Let's check the antenna reflection coefficient or S11. Our S11 is minus 19 or minus 19.10 dB at intended frequency of use. This is fully resonant or almost resonant at 169.9 or 170 megahertz at minus 28.34 dB with an SWR of 1.0. But seldom it's difficult to get the exact match on the intended frequency of use. So this is designed to operate on a 10 megahertz bandwidth, which is still usable on the intended frequency of use, 167.9 megahertz. So at 1.67 megahertz, it's around 1.2 BSWR, as we can see on the nano BNA. Sorry, this is not the nano BNA. This is the N121SA antenna analyzer. So as we can see, 167.9, 1.21, or 1.2 BSWR, which is very usable on the intended frequency of use. Let's confirm the BSWR on the radio to see if we will get the same response. So this time I have now connected the antenna system to my VSWR. So this is the feed line going to the antenna. And this is the feed line going to the back of the ISO 2900. So our frequency, intended frequency of use is 167.9. Let's calibrate the VSWR. So let me just focus. So I'm going to press the calibrate. Let us put the full deflection on the VSWR. So release, switch to SWR mode. We are on the forward power. Settings 200 watts. So our BSWR, as we can see here, is around 1.2, 0.5 or 1.3. So as we can see, we have the same response on the antenna analyzer and the radio. So our transmitted power, so let's change to power mode. As we can see, is about 65 watts. We are on high power. So this is high power, 65 watts on your ISO 2900 at the intended frequency of use. BSWR BSWR is around 1.3, as we can confirm here. So let's check the lowest frequency, which is 163. So let's recalibrate, put the SWR on calibrate position and adjust the needle until we got full deflection, release, then switch to SWR mode. So as we can see, we have 1.6 on 163 megahertz. So let's check the 173 megahertz, the band edge, upper band edge. So let's recalibrate, go to calibrate position, press the PTT, adjust the SWR needle until you got full deflection, release, switch to SWR mode, and as we can see, we have 1.4 or still 1.3 VSWR on 173. So let's check the center frequency. This is the exact center at around 170. So let's recalibrate, switch the SW, calibrate position, readjust the needle, switch to SWR position. So as we can see, we have 1.1 VSWR on 170. Let's recheck 169, 69.900 megahertz. So let's recalibrate, then switch to SWR mode. So as we can see, we have 1.1 BSWR on around 169.9 and 170 megahertz, which is the same or very much the same with our antenna analyzer. This antenna is ready for shipping and will be shipped to Mr. Oscar Rodriguez of Rodriguez Rizal. Thank you for watching.